Hello and welcome. Welcome.
Welcome. Oh my goodness.
To the Barbarian's Wrath Devstream
Who?
Extravaganza.
Is that the update name?
I don't know, maybe the
Right.
Wrath Devstream Extravaganza is the update name?
Yeah.
Okay, just
Okay.
making sure.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess that's the update name now. Welcome to the Barbarian's Wrath Update Devstream Extravaganza Update Devstream.
I like that.
We did it now. So today we're going to talk about kind of some of the systems and things that we do a quick recap of what, some of the things we talked about last week on the Devstream, and then also we're going to go into all things Barbarian.
So good.
And I can't wait.
You're gonna have to.
And I think it'll be the first time that Eric's on stream.
Oh.
First time ever that Master P-Tire, Lord of the Playing on Devstreams, will be showcased. And, well, he's going to be the one that's mainly telling us about the Barbarian today. So, let's roll right in to kind of some of the new additions of the update. You want to give us a quick rundown of kind of like just the bullet points of what's coming?
Yeah. So in our last Devstream, we kind of talked about differences that are coming up with our new user experience, which we won't be covering today. Our shard system, where we've kind of moved things around quite a bit. You'll notice a large change is coming with that. We're going to kind of cover that again. Our equipment changes, which are just amazing. It'll affect every aspect of the game. Then our Barbarian, showing off some of his sweet moves, maybe some of his nice cosmetics. And then we'll have a little Q&A session afterwards to kind of answer all your questions. So if you do have any, just save them till then, and we'll answer them for you. So with that, we can get started talking about shards.
Let's do it.
All right. You want to go ahead and start us off?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
You don't know about shards?
I don't know anything about these shard changes. What can you tell me?
Oh, there's a lot of shard changes.
Oh,
So,
one or two?
one or two. So, as you can see in our menu, if you didn't catch our last dev stream, shards are getting moved around quite a bit. You notice a new UI there where you have your slot for your gear, and then below it are 3 slots where we're going to be putting our shards now. They will stay on the equipment slot itself. So as Eric's showing you here, you can go through, select whatever piece of equipment to open up its shard menu. You can then click on an open slot, and that'll pop up a different UI to where you can select whatever shards are available for that slot. You can equip 3 of them into a slot, but it depends on the piece of gear that you're wearing, if they'll be active or not. It's the same system that we had before, where the green uncommon items do 1, blue do 2, and then our mythical and legendary ones will do 3, activating all the shards on them.
And just something to reiterate too is when you transition into this update, all the shards that you currently have equipped on your heroes, you know, in your current like your deck of heroes and things like that are actually equipped on heroes, they will not move. They'll stay there. They'll go into the new slots that they have assigned to them. Mm-hmm. And then all the shards and stuff you've been keeping in your inventory will either stay in the inventory or go into overflow bags within the scavenger. So definitely make sure you check out the scavenger the second you log into the new update, just to make sure it didn't catch anything on the transition. But even if you don't check it immediately, there's no expiration date on what the scavenger will be holding in terms of like overflow items. So I just recommend checking it out just in case like anything happens. I don't think anything will happen.
Yeah.
But you know, we don't want anyone to lose obviously any of the items that they had. So we're trying to implement a system to just make sure that you know you hang on to them even though they're moved out of gear slots now.
And with that as well, the way they'll be sorted is by the highest upgraded. So if you do have any that go into overflow and you have multiple, shard packs that'll be in there, you will be able to display which ones are in there and also what their upgrade level is. So you can, keep some in there if you don't have the inventory space, but if there are ones that you need right away, you can pull those out and have access to them right away without any kind of worries of having to re-upgrade them or go through multiple different packs to find them.
And this system, it's not like the greatest, but it's something we wanted to do before we, start thinking about additional storage options for storing extra items. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I don't either.
Okay.
I don't know what I'm talking about. I just dropping little hints every now and then. But yeah, we just wanted to make sure that on transition there's not like some wonkiness going on with losing items and stuff. So another thing too is you want to mention the incursion weapon thing as well.
Yeah. So we covered this a little bit before, but with these changes,
Just another reminder.
yeah. So previously, incursion weapons took up a shard slot. And we wanted to make sure that those incursion weapons still felt really good to get, as well as people who've gotten them specifically for those bonuses. So incursion weapons will be retaining their passives, or retaining those shard slots as passives, and have 3 open shard slots on them. With that, there will be a balance pass that kind of affects some of those. It will actually tone maybe some of them down, but also bring some of the other ones up. So those items are going to be a little bit more desirable compared to the others with this change specifically. So I think with that should be the end.
That's pretty much everything with shards.
Yeah.
Let's roll into equipment. Equipment, super awesome. You're gonna get it. It's totally great.
Rolling into equipment.
Whoa.
There it is.
Whoa.
Too high.
Whoa. That was like little Herbert from Family Guy.
Oh, no.
Hey kids.
Hey kids, it's
I want
equipment
some
time.
equipment down in the cellar.
Oh no. Don't take that equipment, kids.
Well, you get a popsicle with it. I mean, that's what I heard
I
about.
don't know.
So,
I don't know.
just to run through the equipment, I know everyone wants to see the new Barbarian stuff, so we're going to go through this kind of some of the equipment bullet points pretty quickly too. Do you want to explain kind of what the new item level systems are that we're going to have in the game as well? Just kind of run through some of the different scores now that we have on our items and what they are and what they mean.
So, there has been a lot of changes since I've been playing Dungeon Defenders. And this one's one of my favorites. Specifically, you can see we previously had eye power on there, which didn't really convey the strength of items. It was something people wanted back, but it was causing a lot of confusion with it activated. So this system is called Gear Score. And as you can see in the top right of the Staff of Thrones there, that it has a number corresponding to the strength of the item and basically how it compares to other items. So you can see when you're getting upgrades as you progress. With this system, we also have what we have is Hero Score, which is it's a average of all of your gear score equipped to that certain hero, and then on top of that, at the very top next to where it says My Deck, is our Champion Score, and your Champion Score is your highest hero score. That will determine if you're ready to take on certain challenges, certain difficulties. But this whole system, the general idea of it was just to let you know where you are item progression wise, how strong you are, what you're ready to take on, when you're getting a clear upgrade, and basically get rid of the entire mule system that a lot of users were experiencing, and just get you out of your inventory and back into the game, just actually playing and slaughtering those hordes of enemies that come your way instead of playing an item management simulator on top of it.
We're going to be talking about a little bit. We're going to be posting a devlog right after the Devstream that goes into kind of some of the choices behind it. There will be a blurb from Jose, one of our designers that we had on last week on our Devstream. He talks about kind of how Gear Score is built the way that it is. I think he mentions the fact that Gear Score takes into account the stats that are on the item as well as the available shard slots that it'll be able to have active. Like we were saying earlier, the legendaries with the three slots that is taken into account on the Gear Score. So it really factors in a lot of things that eye power had nothing to do with previously to make it a little easier to understand kind of the how powerful your items are. So we're very excited for people to check it out. And honestly, when it comes out, definitely give us your feedback on it. Give us if anything feels weird to you, let us know. Yep. If you love it, let us know. We really want to hear kind of any thoughts on how this new system is helping or hindering your gameplay. So it's definitely something we've been enjoying while we've been testing it, but we can't wait for players to get their hands on it too.
I guess actually there's one more point we forgot to mention is behind the scenes tracking. So I did mention we're doing away with the mule system. The way that works is the highest piece of gear that you've seen drop is tracked behind the scenes to make sure that as you're playing, you're going to consistently see better upgrades. So the way the mule system previously worked, or how people were using mules, was the system worked off of your highest geared character to base your drops. Now it has nothing to do with what you have equipped. You have freedom to equip whatever you want to your characters. You don't have to worry about managing mule as well. Again, it's just about getting you out of the inventory and into the battle.
Yeah. The game's pretty much going to track your account's stats and history of drops. And, like the highest things you've seen in order to generate more loot for you. It has nothing to do with, like, hero score and champion score and all that kind of stuff and gear score. And it really has nothing to do with it. So, it'll be nice because you won't have to mule anymore to, like, help get better drops. You should just see a lot better drops just across the board in general for every different kind of item that you have. A lot more upgrades, kind of like a better rate of progressing through stuff. Less like weird drops that don't make sense. I guess.
And there are some caps to it as well. It's not like you're going to be in Chaos 1 difficulty if you've previously been getting Chaos 7 gear. There are certain limits to where you will be seeing this gear drop. There are caps that are placed throughout there. So, again, it'll be something that you'll feel better. There will be recommendations on when you can go into different difficulties and whatnot. So, just overall, 1,000 times better. It just feels so good whenever you're playing through and you just see better items and better stats.
And then another thing I just wanted to mention real quick was the new optimize and auto-equip buttons that we have now. Where you can automatically equip the best gear score gear that you have, automatically equip the best relics, and then there's even a keybind on PC, and on console it'll be obviously a button press while you're on the left side of the inventory, but you can individually auto-equip a slot to have the best gear score item. Another thing we have too is on that left side of the inventory panel, on the side where all the shards are too, if that spot is blank, it doesn't have a piece of equipment in it, you can click it or press A or X on console and it'll actually bring up equipable items for that slot, and I'm fairly certain those are also sorted by gear score. So the top left will always be your highest gear score too, so if you just want to take a look at the gear instead of just hitting the auto equip, you can do that too. Like maybe you have something that is maybe 1 or 2 lower gear score but has the right stat like ability power and stuff that you're looking for. So it gives you another like sorted way to see the items that are for that slot, and hopefully make it a little easier to kind of equip some new upgrades and things that you have, especially if they're higher gear score. You'll be able to find them immediately and just throw it on. It'll be really nice.
Yeah, and then with relics, it has the same kind of thing, except there's a priority with it as well.
That doesn't matter.
That does. I think it does a little bit.
I don't know.
If you don't want, we don't have.
That's weird.
You don't like it?
I'm gonna put totems on my cannons.
Are you sure?
No.
Okay. So that's how it works, actually. No. So what it'll do is it'll prioritize marks and medallions for various towers, and then for blockades, it will put totems on there. If there aren't any of those available, it will search for your highest eye power mark or medallion for your blockades, and then inversely for any of the other towers, it will put a totem on there if you don't have any marks or medallions available.
I did mention something in chat though last week. Just make sure the auto equip is not going to min max your items for you though. It's kind of like it's a dumb smart auto equip where it'll equip the best gear score things you have. It'll equip a medallion on the things you probably think need a medallion, but there's like, for example, there's a lot of situations where maybe a mark would be better than a medallion, so it won't make that call for you. So there's definitely, for people that are still min-maxing and paying attention to stats, it's not going to do that for you. You still probably should choose what's going on what. But, for those that are just kind of progressing through the game, it'll be a very easy feature to just, auto-equip what they have and grab some new upgrades and quickly swap them in and out.
They're just coming constantly.
Yeah. So, I think that's all we got for the equipment for now. There's a lot of extra bug fixes, and there's a balance pass on a couple of our incursion weapons. There's a bunch of changes coming in this update. I mean, it is a lot. We were going through our changelog and patch notes that we were trying to write, and we have to cut it down from something like it was 174 pages and just some inordinate amount of pages, and we got it down to it's 30 now, I think, around 30. So we're trying to cut it down even more and just condense. But it's a lot of changes, and it's a lot of system improvements and little things that we added to the game. We showed off a bunch of them last week, so you'll see even more in our patch notes when we launch them. Just to also announce it early, like I mentioned on the stream last week, well, not on the stream, but in the chat.
In the chat.
The patch is coming next week. The exact day we're still trying to figure out because we're still trying to do certification with consoles. So we're waiting to hear back from that. And then we'll be able to kind of tell you guys when it's coming. The odds of it coming out are kind of around Wednesday or Thursday. It definitely won't be Tuesday next week. So it'll be sometime next week, either Wednesday or Thursday, most likely. That's why I'm like, no promises, but it'll just be sometime next week.
Yeah.
But we're working on it. So there's a lot of kind of last minute things we're throwing in and certification for consoles. So we're trying to make it all happen because it's a lot of changes and obviously a really sweet hero addition to the game. So we're very excited to get it and release it to all of our platforms next week.
We've got a new hero?
I don't know, do we?
I don't know.
He's all right.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's a hero that we didn't really care about or mention at all over the past 8 months or really anything.
I don't think we would ever do that.
I don't think we've ever talked about him before. He's brand new. No one's ever heard of him.
Yeah.
He has bear-themed defenses, I heard.
Yeah,
they're
he
all
summons
bears. Summons bears
Yeah.
in a bear whirlwind.
Yeah.
Right, Eric?
Something like that.
All right, so
Okay.
something like that.
Something
All right,
like
so
that.
let's start talking about the Barbarian. Barbarian. I didn't have a sweet theme for that. I don't know.
I enjoyed it.
I'm out of
Isn't that
energy.
supposed to be your job,
team.
though?
I'm out of energy. It's been a long week.
It's been a long 2 weeks.
We've been fixing all
We've been
the
fixing
bugs.
everything. Attempting to.
All
anyways.
the time. The game's bug-free now. Just completely bug-free.
We've done it.
Don't quote me on
Please,
that.
no.
Or do.
We try.
We can. I mean, it'll be wrong,
Yeah, that's true.
but we tried. But seriously, we fixed so many
We've
freaking
worked
bugs.
so
It's
many
amazing.
hours and so many bugs.
So, where to even start? Let's start with the visual changes. So, we had previously had some art and kind of a look for the Barbarian, but why does this Barbarian look a little different than maybe kind of the old, popular conception of what he's going to look like?
Well, we did have the Barbarian, everything set up for the MOBA, if people remember that. But we took a more darker theme for this one and kind of did a little more gruff. He's been gone fighting things and training and getting big and beef and learning how to do cool things instead of just
That should be our hashtag.
hawks. Big beef, done.
Big and beef.
Done.
We did it.
So that is why he's going to look slightly different than you might remember him as.
So, will this style kind of be how we do future heroes, or what was kind of the thinking behind that?
It will really depend upon the individual hero. Each hero comes from its own section. So because this one is the fight it, the high end in combat, we wanted to go for this darker, gruff
Murderous.
Yes.
I just like calling him murderous. I don't know. I like thinking of the Barbarian of just
I
a
now understand all of the descriptions. They
Whirling-
make more sense.
whirling cleave storm of death.
I now understand.
I mean, I didn't even write them, so it's not even me. There's some great.
But you approved them. So that
I mean, of course I approved them. So let's get straight into kind of starting to talk about how he works, what his moveset is, what he does, his abilities, his fanciness.
all right. Well, first things first.
What are his resources?
First things first. DD1 players will remember you can equip 2 weapons to the Barbarian. He has dual wielding. You get stats from both of them. It is awesome. Anyone who played DD1 will remember that. Don't worry, we brought it back.
So can he equip stabs?
No. Sadly, just swords and did
Single
we
sword.
add something new? I think we added a new weapon type or something, did we?
Yeah, they're like wider swords.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. I forgot. Yeah. Axes? Is that what
They're
called?
thick with 2C swords.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
thick swords.
So that's first thing.
So we got regular swords and thick swords,
Next is the
and we call them axes.
yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Next is if Walter will stop swapping around heroes real quick.
No,
We have altered and added a hero resource for the Barbarian. So not only will he be able to interact with towers still, because you still have green mana, but you will also be able to have 2 different resources for your sets of abilities instead of just all being based upon one, like the Gun Witch is. And you gain those resources differently than every other hero in the game. So we have was it
Oh man,
Fury?
he's so hard to see on this map.
Jeez.
It's like super dark.
You picked a good map. It's a good job.
He picked it.
Yeah.
It wasn't generated.
It totally wasn't randomly generated by
Reroll.
us.
Reroll, retry. I don't know.
So we have 2 resources. What did we end on? Fury? Is that the... Fury, which is your primary resource, which you gain from taking damage. So every damage that you take is going to, increase your fury.
Every damage that you take?
Yeah, every damage you take.
I mean, that's actually
That's
true.
That is the correct. It's not. And that's going to be used for your primary stances, which are everything on the left side, and Wrath, which is for all the damage that you do. You will gain that, which is used for your damage-focused and centric, awesome, dope
I think it's
abilities.
the other way around. Isn't it? No. Is Fury when you get hit?
Yes.
And Wrath is when you do dips?
It's red and purple.
I don't know colors anymore. You're the colorblind one, and I don't even know.
I'm the colorblind one. That's why it's those colors, because I can see the difference.
I don't believe you. So we've obviously grouped up the Fury abilities on the left and the Wrath abilities on the right. There's 2 bars now that'll show up. It also shows up on our console UI for PS4 and Xbox One players. You'll notice there's 2 bars now instead of the 1 bar that was normally the ability mana bar.
And we added icons for everything.
Yes.
So you can actually see by the ability what resource it uses. So even for the Dryad, whose 4th ability, which is healing, is actually a tower, now shows green mana as well.
That's crazy.
So
I don't know about that.
we added
That's
that
weird.
as well to make things easier for players to understand.
So one of the myriad of changes we added. One of the almost 200 pages of changes and bug fixes.
We changed nothing.
Yeah, no,
It's
it's
the
a
same game.
meaningless patch. It's really nothing that's being added. I don't know. But yeah, so those are his resources. So let's get started maybe with the left side of his abilities. So what are they? What do they use?
Well, I think
what do
we
you
first
do?
need to start with the ability that is not on the
No.
screen.
I wanted that to be secret
Oh, okay.
and just be discovered.
But you already did it.
All right, well, it's too late. Good job.
So right-click, if any of you play Lavamancer know that right-click is Lavamancer's movement. Well, we wanted to give the Barbarian some movement as well, and we figured that he can't fly through the air, but he can
I mean, he can kind of fly.
he
through
can
there.
leap buildings in a single bound or something, I think. Right, Lalta?
I think so.
think so.
So
I mean, I can confirm that from Heroes Marketplace testing that he can leap buildings in a single bound.
it's true.
You can combine it perhaps with catapults and jumping.
The ability has 2 uses. You can charge it up and go far distance, or you can just click immediately and do a short distance hop. It is AoE damage when you land, but it should not be used as a primary damage. We wanted it mostly to be a movement ability to help you jump over ledges and get through enemies faster.
Still does some damage.
Yes.
It's not like a piddly amount of damage, but it's
It's not
definitely
worthless,
huge.
but it is not your primary attacks.
Yeah. So, now that we mentioned the sweetest ability. Wait, no.
No.
Second
Second
coolest-
sweetest ability,
Second
no.
sweetest ability. Let's roll into maybe the Fury abilities first.
All right, so the first one, which is the only Fury ability that is not a stance, is Furious Slash, which is an ability that is fairly similar to Sword Beam, just shorter range. It is how the Barbarian is going to be able to easily deal with air enemies, and primarily what its focus is for. He is not a ranged hero. It was not meant to be a ranged attack, but it will assist with dealing with those pesky flying enemies that stay out of range.
It's just so you don't have to keep like jumping and clicking and trying to slash and.
What, you didn't like that from DD1? I
I
like
mean, that was one of the not great things about Barbarian and DD1. However,
You still
leaping
can.
enemies was great.
Yeah, that's true.
But now you have a much easier attack for taking care of air enemies.
Yes. And we just wanted him to not feel, oh, if I see an air enemy, I have to switch. It is, you still can deal with them for the Barbarian. It is just, he's not the best at dealing with
He
them.
really has like things in his kit that are really for pretty much every situation that you're going to encounter in combat, which is pretty sweet.
Yep.
So, how about his second ability?
Second ability is his first stance, and probably the one that is the coolest, and I think I've had most fun with.
The
is
coolest?
The tornado stance? Dude, you can fly.
I mean, alright.
Increase movement speed, increase attack speed, increase jump height, And the only downside is that you just do less damage. You will attack faster, so if you have some choice shards, it may end up doing more damage, but your actual damage numbers will see slightly less just to counterbalance that. Beyond that, Tornado Stance does some cool things to abilities. Do we want to say that now or when we go over those abilities? All right. Next stance is Turtle Stance. I'm sure people from DD1 remember this one as the green ball of awesomeness. We didn't want a green ball. We made swords.
I kind of wanted a green ball.
Well,
let's be real.
We have one, all right?
I know.
We put it there.
I know.
We went with the shields to show blocking. The cool thing, the best part about this ability, you can't get Dark Assassined while you're in Turtle Stance. You cannot
pretty good.
get Dark Assassined in Turtle Stance. So it is damage resistance, and the downside to it is you attack slower and you jump. You don't jump is the answer to that. You really don't.
I mean, you do. It's painful.
Yeah, it's. If you want to jump with it, just activate Tornado Stance, and then you can jump. It's fine. The final stance for Fury is the Siphon Stance, which is basically his heal. Is an increased lifesteal that is exclusive to the Barbarian, and it is awesome. He is basically invulnerable.
So then, just to reiterate, how do you get Fury to be able to use some of these and power some of these stances and your ranged
Take
ability?
damage.
Okay.
So whenever you take damage from enemies or some other ways that we will talk about in a moment, you can actually increase that, and from what I have found, it's very hard to run out. You're mostly just, as long as you are in the fray and playing the hero as he's intended and focused to be played and having fun with that, you're not going to have an issue with
Pretty
it.
much as long as you're murdering enemies,
Yes.
you'll have it.
Yes, and it's fun and wonderful. And those are his 4 Fury-centric abilities.
Oh, yeah, so let's get in the good stuff.
So now we've got the Wrath abilities, as Lalta is losing.
Lalta's getting wrecked right now.
The first one is his last stance, but probably his coolest stance.
Don't kill yourself.
Not the one that I had most fun with, but his most interesting is Lightning Stance, which
It's probably my favorite.
causes you to take damage whenever you hit enemies and causes you to do more damage. So if you really want to cleave through some enemies, activate it and just go on a murder spree of slaughtering things.
What else does it do? There's something I see like bouncing around in there.
I forgot I added that.
What's going on? There's something going on the screen.
To reward players for being able to stay in the stance for a long period of time without killing themselves, every third hit will have a chain lightning that does damage based upon your hero damage.
Rip.
So,
Rip.
Well, obviously doesn't get to see that chain lightning.
It's too bad we're not letting him use something yet.
What?
I mean, we'll see.
You mean his best ability?
We'll see.
So those are his 4 stances. One thing before we move to the other ones we kind of want to go over with stances, you can have 2 of them active at a time.
Yeah.
So you can have both Tornado and Turtle active to kind of counteract each other for the jump height and movement speed. You can also have Siphon and Lightning active at the same time to kind of counteract the damaging yourself. And there's going to be a lot of interesting
Or you just
scenarios.
go crazy ham and have Lightning and Tornado active and be unleashing chain lightnings all day
And
while
kill
also
yourself.
killing yourself.
While you also could just be, infinitely tanky and not grabbed by Dark Assassins by having heal and Turtle on.
No.
But, that's just what I do personally.
That's not how you max your dips. Come
True.
on.
That's true. Alright, so those are the 4 stances. The next one is Staggering Shout is what we changed. There was a lot of iterations for names. Staggering Shout. This is the first ability.
It was really hard to name. Tornado Stance and Turtle Stance and Siphon Stance.
Hey,
Those are all new. We worked really hard.
the other ones we changed a bunch, though. So this is the first ability that is interesting and has a lot of depth to it. The ability at base is just a debuff on enemies. So the Barbarian will shout and just unleash a debuff on all enemies in front of him in a giant AoE.
Mm-hmm.
It's huge. It's awesome. But the coolest part about the ability is depending upon your primary stance, which if Lalta can activate just one stance, you will see in the bottom it is a distinct color, and in the top left you will see a buff of your first stance. That will change the debuff that is on the enemies. So if you're in Tornado stance and you activate Barbaric Shout, all enemies are going to be slowed. If you're in Turtle, it's going to stun. If you're in Siphon, they'll have a Life Leech debuff, which means that any allies that hit it will also be healed. And Lightning stance will increase the damage that they take. So you can use that in conjunction on bosses and Draco Lich to do an insane amount of damage to Siege Rollers.
It's alright.
No, it's still not his best ability.
It's alright.
Still not his best ability. So that's the... Use some interesting combinations. It's not just going to be just Turtle Stance or just Tornado Stance, Barbaric Shout, or Staggering Shout. I'll get it right eventually.
One day.
One day. That's not today. Interesting depending upon what enemies you're fighting, how you're fighting them, and who you're fighting with. The next ability... Is this your favorite? Is this your favorite? This is your favorite, right?
Sort of.
I mean...
I may or may not have tweeted about it already.
Whirlwind, which I am sure Lalta will show off as a wonderful, amazing ability. If you've ever played a game with Whirlwind, you know it is awesome.
Just go back to town. This is probably my favorite part, is just chilling in town with this.
Is that what you're going to do for the first week? You're just going to chill in town?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, I expect it. This is another ability that will change based upon your primary stance. Each individual one, again, is unique and fairly similar to the Barbaric Shout, Staggering Shout, but slightly different. Once Lalta loads in, we can show off the Tornado Stance version, which all enemies that you don't just absolutely murder will be slowed. Best uses against ranged enemies or kobolds or...
You move really slow.
Yeah.
It's just so slow. I don't think he'll be able to get around the battlefield.
He's the fastest hero by far. And then you've also got Turtle Stance Whirlwind, which withers the enemy's attacks, so they do less damage. You can actually even use that on Siege Rollers, I found out. So their rockets will do less damage, and they will all just do less damage.
Their grind does less damage.
And then you've got Siphon Stance, which heals you even if you're not hitting enemies.
What?
It is just a permanent heal buff to the Barbarian while you're in it. And then the last one is Lightning Stance, which adds the Chain Lightning that you already get to the wonderful, amazing
And it had some
Whirlwind.
sweet VFX to the Whirlwind.
Yeah, Brian did great with these.
This
They
is my
look
favorite.
so awesome.
Whipping around with some lightning. Causing a storm of damage. Do you get it because you're doing storm damage? Alright, just want to make
I
sure.
understood. It's great.
Just want to make sure.
So those are the Whirlwind, and again, without a stance active, you will still do damage. You just won't gain your
So
bonus
why
effect.
is he moving so fast in Whirlwind?
So, well, he's got Tornado Stance active, which
Uh-huh.
increases your movement speed.
Yeah, but then what else?
And then we also have a Shard
Huh.
that increases your movement speed.
Wait, so Barbarian gets his own shards that do special stuff for some of his abilities?
All of the abilities. Well,
Oh.
do we have one for all the abilities?
I mean, I don't know.
think
You
we
would
do.
know.
That's why I'm thinking about...
I mean, my favorite one is the Whirlwind one.
Yeah, you have increased movement speed. If you equip all of the movement speed stuff, you can almost fly across the entirety of
If you
Good
gotta
Realm.
go fast,
Yeah, right. 100%.
you can go fast.
Yes.
And that is a requirement for the Barbarian.
Yes. And it is.
I know.
We did
It's
it.
amazing.
That's what you told us to do.
I'm
We did
about it. Exactly.
The last ability of the Barbarian is the one that I'm sure most people that play DD1 remember using once or twice, maybe they used in DD1. I don't know. Did you use it that often?
No, never.
We brought back Hawk Stance in more of a Hawk Strike because that's basically what it was.
Like never
in
was a
DD1
stance.
anyways.
It didn't
But
make any sense.
we kind of made it look a little more. I think beefy is the word I'm going to use because that's what we've been using for everything else.
Just gonna call him a beefy boy.
And it is an insane amount of damage if you do it correctly. It is small AoE. You can't just clear huge waves, but you can murder bosses, and this is your boss killer.
And then also kind of one of the mechanics behind it is it burns all your wrath, right?
I was gonna say if Lalta can go back and show his full wrath bar,
It's
right?
probably not gonna show in the. Is it gonna show in the
It shows
town?
the cost.
Yeah, it shows the cost.
Alright.
You can show
Good
it there.
enough.
So you notice that it says 300 because he's at 300 wrath.
Yeah.
it burns all of your wrath and scales the damage based upon how much wrath you have.
Oh,
So if you're
yeah.
at full wrath and you see a siege roller, spoilers, you can one-shot them. I think I was
One-shot
on
them
floor
with
300.
justice.
Floor 300, and I was one-shotting siege rollers.
Dev hacks.
I'll just let you know. You can find some interesting uses for this. Please show me all of the ways that it is broken. I mean, working as intended.
Yeah, Barb's pretty weak. I don't know. He's all right.
It's terrible.
He struggles with all the enemies. It's really hard to play.
Horribly.
So,
hard to play.
where did some of the ideas for the abilities come from?
I mean, DD1 is... I'm a DD1 player, you're a DD1 player.
So, obviously we have a lot of things
went
on the Barb that are from DD1.
The exact
But what
same.
about some of the other, the other abilities that are kind of like a slight change up? Why did we kind of pick those?
So, for two of the abilities, Anger or Furious Strike, man, I'm gonna get the names wrong. Furious Slash and Staggering Shout is
Angry Boy Strike.
we wanted them to fill a specific category. So Staggering Shout, we wanted to figure out how he could interact with other instead of just I only worry about myself, and that was the way we went for that. And Furious Slash, obviously, we wanted you to deal with air enemies and not just have the tornado stance and look like an idiot trying to swing at them. Now with Whirlwind, we kind of wanted to go with what some other games have done with how Whirlwind for Barbarian, and we wanted to increase his ability to just mow down waves of enemies and add a new interesting mechanic for stances, and this was the best way that we found to do it and look cool doing it.
Yeah,
So
I'm about it. I just like being in Whirlwind pretty much all the time,
Yeah.
forever. And then you see a boss and you're like, all right, maybe I'll take a break from Whirlwind for 2 seconds.
I mean, unless you're in Lightning,
Hawk Strike. But even like Lightning Whirlwind, I still stop
that's true.
and just Hawk Strike.
Yeah, the best way is to
Just
Hawk Strike.
melt.
Yeah.
And then resume my gotta go fast whirlwinding. While also repairing my defenses, just to be fair. Sometimes.
No, you don't.
When I remember to.
I have to repair defenses for
When
you. You know this.
When I'm not murdering everything. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so what kind of makes him different from our other, full damage hero, the Gun Witch?
Well,
Like, how did we kind of approach thinking about it, I guess, and still making him feel unique kind of in the game?
first thing, he's melee,
Yeah.
which I'm sure everyone
Oh, really?
everyone is aware the Gun Witch is ranged, and that's a obviously key difference. One of the other key differences we did is the hero is a high risk, high reward. If you notice, Walta has a little bit of health up there. He has the highest health pool of every hero, but he takes more damage than all of the other heroes. So if you are just running in and getting hit by kobolds, you will die. You will die. But if you use him correctly, everything, as long as you're in the fray, punching enemies, hitting things, you're never going to run out of either ability, you're always going to be murdering them, and you're never going to be taking damage.
Good.
But that's all based upon how you can adjust with your stances depending upon what you're fighting, use your abilities against specific enemies that they need to be used against, and be active in your gameplay.
Fun little aside. We even added little animations to enemy deaths.
Yes.
When the barbarians wrecking them, they'll fly back and disintegrate. It's pretty amazing.
So
Our
if you-
animators really stepped up a notch and kind of implemented some sweet looking stuff. For
So if you dislike
cleaving.
goblins,
if you dislike
enjoy
goblins.
watching them fly, because it is wonderful.
We've buffed the amount of goblin abuse in our game.
Yes,
I'll just say that. Maybe we'll put that in the patch notes. Plus 10 goblin abuse
At
on
least.
Barbarian Hero.
at least.
At least 10. Sorry, Dream Anime.
Rip.
Rip the dream. So, one thing I do want to talk about, though, is we're trying a new package style with how we're releasing the Barbarian. So, similar to before, we had the Barbarian bundle with we'd have a hero bundle with a costume and then the hero by itself. But now we're gonna have that still. We'll have the bundle with a costume and then the hero by itself. But we're also trying a new kind of pack, and I'm interested to kind of see how you guys feel about it, or if it was cool and if you bought it, and I don't know, cool stuff. But we're gonna actually release a complete edition for the Barbarian. So it's gonna have the Barbarian, his exclusive release costume that we may or may not show you soon. And then also all his Defender Pack cosmetics and his base accessories. So essentially, like all the things you can get out of Defender Packs for the Barbarian, we're going to feature in a complete edition at launch. And it's going to be for an additional 1,000 gems. You can get like all his extra cosmetics right at launch.
So if you want to look really cool.
And then, if you want to look super dope and have all his looks, you can buy a super discounted bundle that has all of them. And then also, if you just want to get Barbarian for Defender medals, but want all these other looks and have them be available, they're going to be available separately as a cosmetic pack. It won't include the super dope launch costume, but it's all the Defender Pack contents for the Barbarian that's in its own pack. And this is a limited time. It's gonna be available for 60 days. It's a limited time kind of release bundle feature for the Barbarian. So you get a complete edition, you get kind of the cosmetic add-on pack, and then also the regular bundle and the hero. So if you just want everything, you can just buy the complete edition. If you want to buy Barbarian for Defender medals and just get all the Defender Pack cosmetics, you can do that too. It's we're trying to give more options to kind of what you're purchasing, and see if people like that. And if people really like it, then maybe we'll do it for future hero releases and stuff like that. So it's kind of it's an experiment that we're doing. So we hope you guys enjoy it. And if you think it's the worst, let us know that too. But definitely let us know how you feel about it.
Let him
know. Yeah.
Let him
let
know,
me
not
know.
me, him.
No, actually, private message Eric
Please
over
no.
here on Discord. So direct message on Discord and DM on Twitter, Eric right here, about everything that you're feeling about this update. You can do that right now. The update doesn't even have to come out. Just DM him
Just
all the
complain.
time.
It's fine.
So I just wanted to mention some of that, and then also, additionally, obviously, it's a big new update, lots of new stuff. We are adding more contents to the Defender Packs themselves. There's a bunch of new wing looks, a bunch of new crowns, a bunch of new, flare and accessories. There's a couple more costumes. Evie got a bunch of metallic, colored metal looks to her that are coming out in this update as well.
So what you're telling me is we did nothing in this update.
We did nothing in this update. It was really just nothing getting added. And then, obviously, to reiterate, we weren't going to show it off today because today's kind of more focused on the Barbarian. But just to reiterate, we added a completely new user experience into the game. The first 3 levels are completely revamped. You do kind of the first 3 levels, then you go to town, I think, to learn a lot of the systems and things about our game. So all that's been redone. If you're a previous player, I'm fairly sure you can go back and check it out too if you want. Just load up the first level of the campaign, and you'll be able to see the things if you just want to check it out. And then obviously if you get any friends into the game, hopefully we'll be teaching them kind of all the systems that we have in a better way than we were previously. So we're going to show off the accessories a little bit. So I think the Barbarian has the most accessory sets out of the premium heroes that we released. Obviously our base heroes had a ton, but for our add-on heroes, I mean he has 4 full sets of accessory looks,
which you can mix and match
on the base costume that you can mix and match. So he gets a lot of stuff you can kind of show off and change around with his look. We also kind of went through it pretty quick, but the second look on there is actually a new version of the old DD1 Barbarian look. So if you're really missing those big lion paws on the shoulder look and big red gem belt, you can sport that if you want. It'll be there. And again, this is something that'll be in that Barbarian Complete Edition. All those accessories will be included. If you don't want to get the Complete Edition, they're in the Defender Packs as well. But obviously, or you can just get that cosmetic pack separately too if you don't want to buy the whole Complete Edition and you want to unlock Barbarian for Defender medals or whatever. There's many different ways you can get these things right now. But the Complete Edition and the cosmetic pack are first 2 months, so they're 60-day kind of limited buy. just to see if you guys like it and stuff like that. So definitely check it out. And then he's got this. So that we got some of his material effect costumes, but then he's got that one like really neat costume. I don't know.
I didn't like it. It wasn't too
It's
good.
It's all right. I don't know. Like, yeah, I think that's the one we're talking about. Yeah. It's the Plexus Barbarian. That's the one I was talking about.
That's all the costumes.
Yep, that's all the costumes.
That's it.
There's not another one in there. I don't know. Nothing else that there could be. Oh, who's this guy?
We added that last minute.
Oh, okay. I've never seen this before.
Okay,
I don't know what this is. It's not like I made it my Discord avatar secretly and nobody noticed. Single tier. So this is the Blood Reaver costume. This is probably my favorite costume I think we've ever done. Except for Lightning Monk. Lightning Monk I'm all about. And he was amazing because the lightning strikes when he jumps is 10 out of 10. But this one has kind of like 2 full looks plus a 3rd helmet. And it's just, he is sick looking with Blood Reaver. He's got a couple like extra VFX going on there. And he is one menacing Mamma Jamma.
What, he has a unique spawn in?
Yeah, he's got a couple of unique animations on it. And he is murder personified. I need it. This is all I'm going to be rolling around with. I'm going to be rolling around with like that and like the black and red raven wings.
And spinning.
And just spinning all the time forever. And that's it.
I mean,
at
least we know where we'll be for the first 2 weeks.
Exactly. Just in town spinning. We did it. So that's most of the things I wanted to tell you guys about. Obviously, there's a ton more things coming out in this patch. We're working really hard on doing those patch notes and getting them done in time to be able to tell you about all the different things that are coming. Tons of system changes, Barbarian, new user experience, shard changes, gear score, champion score. We even changed how loot drops.
Yeah.
It's like this is an enormous patch for the game, so we're really excited for you guys to get your hands on it next week. So I think we're gonna roll into Q&A and start answering some questions. So let's do it. Q&A.
Here's the Q.
We're gonna answer the Twitch questions. I did it.
That's fantastic.
I know. I tried really hard for everyone. Sniffle.
So we did have a couple questions. So go ahead and post your questions now so we can start getting to them. There was a couple as well that were pretty good questions about the Barbarian. We kind of covered it, but just to reiterate, someone was asking, he's hurting himself. Is that normal?
He is. It's been an issue that he's gone to therapy for a long time.
Are we adding that to the...
So he's learned to embrace the fact that he hurts himself.
Okay.
And it helps him in combat.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just become a stance that he utilizes in combat. So he embraced the power of hurting himself to channel lightning powers and do extra damage to enemies.
Oh.
So the extra hurting himself becomes the extra hurting of enemies.
It's an outlet.
It's an outlet.
I
Right.
gotcha.
So now it's a healthy part of how he does combat.
And then...
But that took him years. That was many years of therapy.
That's why he's gone.
Yeah. That's why he wasn't there.
It's in the mountains.
Yeah, he was busy doing mountain therapy and also looking like a king in the mountains.
Ooh. I don't know. Are you sure?
All right, what else we got?
Let's see here. Is whirlwind damage based on ability power?
Yes. I'm saying yes because Eric's nodding yes.
Oh, okay.
So, sure.
We didn't really show off.
I knew the answer to that.
We didn't show
Just
off.
me.
If Eric actually wants to pull this up so people can see it, his ascension.
He definitely has his own unique ascension. We switched up kind of how the trees are for the. I think we even switched up the gun, which is trees. Oh, good. The timer's back. Oh, just all the cinematics. Nice. Good job, Eric.
We're there.
Maybe he should come back to the table, and we should have also go back. So yeah, he gets his own ascension powers and things like that. Obviously, not as many as some of the heroes that have defenses and things like that, but he does get his own set of passives and all the goodies that come with it.
And then also
I don't know if that answered the question.
I don't think it did.
It uses ability power.
Oh.
Was the original question.
Oh. No, that was the answer.
Oh, okay.
Well, this is Jeopardy now.
Yeah.
I'm
the
someone had a question earlier about the shards in his weapons. So they were asking if the second weapon slot has access to shards, and it does.
C.
Yes.
So that's gonna be one strong guy.
So he's a strong boy.
Strong boy.
He's a beefy boy.
He's a real strong boy.
A beefy, whirly boy.
Another question. This is about the way that shards are going to be working. Are we going to be able to stack multiple shards like multiple power transfers? Which the answer to that is no. They're going to still retain a lot of the same kind of restrictions that they do have right now, where you can't just have one medallion just loaded up with power transfers.
It works like the same way that it did previously.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a better management of the shards now, and you don't have to keep unequipping and re-equipping every time you get a gear upgrade.
Mm-hmm.
It's just but it's the same. 3 shards on a defense, 3 shards on a piece of armor, stuff like that. The only thing that was different was the incursion weapons. Their locked shard kind of becoming just a separate passive, and now you can equip the 3 separate shards in addition to the incursion effect. That was really the only difference from kind of how it is right now on live. This was really just a kind of an item management enhancement change.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like a huge shard system change.
Which is actually kind of related to one of the questions. So basically, the Barbarian is going to have 3 different weapon shards, or actually he can use 3 of the same, or 2 of the same on each weapon, 3
Yes.
total, and have his incursion weapons
Yes.
passives on them as well.
Yes.
So he might do a lot of damage.
A lot of
A
damage.
lot of damage.
A bogus amount of damage.
Maybe we should get rid of that. I don't know if people are excited about that one or not. You don't think so? Another one was with these shard changes, are they going to stack? And the answer is no. We have other inventory stuff we're working on, but as it currently stands, with this system that we're going to be using, if you do have any overflow that does go to the scavenger, and are we going with, what's the name we're going for with those packs that he's going to be getting?
Oh, they're just like shards of
I put you on the spot. I apologize.
containment.
Is it?
A shard of containment.
Okay.
The little blue crystally guys that'll be in the scavenger, and they'll contain 16 of your shards each. It even says in the tooltip when you look at them what shards you contain within. Like we said before, it'll say what upgrade level they are, so you can see. And again, we even grouped together all your upgraded shards that were in your inventory. So everything's grouped together pretty well, and you'll be able to see that in the scavenger if there's overflow. If you had inventory space, it'll just be in your inventory, but if you had overflow, it goes to the scavenger.
Mm-hmm.
And these extra little bags of shards that you have to open have no expiration, so if you're still trying to figure out how you're going to put them back in your inventory and make room or whatever, you can kind of take your time figuring it out. They're not going to go anywhere. But they're a consumable item, so once you take it out of the scavenger, you'll have to use it, and then you'll have to have 16 spaces in your inventory if it's full, right? It's up to 16 spaces. Might be less full or whatever. But you'll have to have room in your inventory in order to open it. If you don't have room and you try to open it, it'll probably just say, hey, you need to clear up some more inventory space in order to open this. So there's kind of a consumable that contains all your old shards. Is kind of the overflow system that we have right now.
So there are 2 questions I'm going to kind of lump together here. One was, can you put 2 burning strikes into both of your weapons? And the answer is yes. The other is another elemental weapon question. Could you use a water weapon in one hand, a lightning weapon in the other, to apply a stun effect with tornado stance? I would just use lightning stance.
I mean, the answer is yes.
But yeah, you can.
But also lightning stance?
Yeah, just use that.
But yes.
Yeah. So you
Maybe
can't.
a shard or something.
Yeah, there might be some weird shard going on that does some of that.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't think that's going to make it.
Nah, it's garbage.
We also have another question. Is the Barbarian coming in this next update? Yes. It is called the Barbarian's Wrath. He's coming in the next update.
The Barbarian's Wrath update, but he comes in the next
Yeah,
one.
he comes halfway through.
He'll come like a month later.
This is just his prologue. That's all this is.
Oh, okay. We should have called it that, the Barbarian's
Barbarian's
Prologue. It's our
Prologue.
bad for being, unclear about it.
So we're kind of getting close to time. Let's see if we can get one more question before.
More questions.
There's a lot of questions about my hair and my glasses.
Mm.
I will take those. You can PM me those on Discord, maybe. Let's see here. So can we still
If you give him a receipt of buying the Barbarian Complete Edition, he will mail you a lock of his hair.
I am cutting it after Barbarian releases.
Just keep it and send little envelopes
Oh
out.
no. There won't be any problems.
Looking at you, certain community members.
It's Juicebags who's pushing for it.
Just juice.
That's some heavy.
That's weird.
That's
juice.
some heavy costs.
Please stop.
So, can we still load shards into inventory gear? And the answer is no.
It's not on inventory gear anymore.
Yeah, it's the whole change is to move you out of out of your inventory, managing your shards as you get new upgrades.
However, we are working on ways to store things.
No.
Perhaps.
Okay, maybe.
So there might be something like that coming soon.
Oh
after
no!
this patch.
Why am I getting messages on Discord already?
I mean,
anyways, we'll ignore that.
DMs.
So we might be having a devlog posted that may have some things that maybe
Might say some things.
It might be mostly barbarian focused. Might say some other things. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe.
We'll see. You'll have to read it.
So yeah, with that, you know, we never picked a hashtag. We're gonna do big and beefy.
Hashtag beefy.
Just hashtag beefy.
Just beefy.
All right. So if you guys wanna just go, it doesn't matter on the casing or anything like that. After the stream's over, we'll pick a winner.
It matters. Capital B.
Capital B. Why not
I
capital
want.
all?
I want only. No, just only capital B.
Just only capital
Everything
B.
else is lowercase.
Okay.
Very important.
Very
This is
important.
the most important.
We'll only pick a winner who does it just like that.
Just like that.
So,
And winners will get a lock of Loss's hair.
oh god,
With their barbarian here.
I'm
With
gonna-
a code for the barbarian.
I'm gonna be bald after all this. I'm just gonna so smooth everywhere. Be very aerodynamic.
I mean, we didn't say when. We just said you'll get it
eventually.
sometime.
So, but that will be Barbarian Hero Code on his release. Not yet.
Yeah,
We can't
so
give it to
We'll
you
be
now.
sending codes out. Obviously, we'll notify you if you won,
Mhm.
and then we'll be sending you codes out when the patch goes live.
Yep. And yeah, I think that's it. I think we covered a decent amount of things today.
So, one or two changes coming up.
Just a couple.
Again, quick recap to wind up the stream. New user experience. Barbarian heroes are going to be a whirly beefy boy. Shard changes coming. Be prepared for that. Make sure you check the scavenger after you log in when the patch goes live. Just make sure, so you're not like, oh my gosh, where did my shards go? I don't understand.
Deleted.
Go to the scavenger. Delete it.
Oh wait, yeah, scavenger.
Go to the scavenger and just
That's
make sure everything's there. Then also tons of balance changes, bug fixes, system improvements, auto equipping.
My brain's fried almost.
It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So
It's a lot of stuff. Loot drop changes.
Oh no.
Gear score, champion score,
Oh no.
progression changes
Oh,
and
no.
trials.
There's too many things. The patch notes are gonna not be notes. It's gonna be a
Ah.
patch novel.
Error.
Are
But yeah, so it's gonna be some good stuff. So stick around. We'll pick the winners after the Devstream ends. And then we'll shoot you a message to tell you if you've won. And that's it for our stream today. Thanks for joining us on the Trendy Devstream for the Barbarian's Wrath update. Check out the website for the devlog that's going to be coming out very soon right after the stream. And then also check out Juicebag's stream.
Ooh, I might be hopping into that.
One of us might be talking and answering questions on there, perhaps.
Perhaps.
So definitely check that out. And thanks for being here today. And we hope you enjoyed everything.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in.
Woo!
Woo.